Oh, this one Rico has it. Mr. Fultz, you here, sir?
Your Honor, I think he's in the hallway.
Let him come in, please.
Sure.
He's going to stand right there. No, maybe, yeah. 50.
Mr. Fultz?
Yes.
Mr. Fultz, step right up here if you would for a moment. Mr. Fultz, where's Mr. Peterson this morning?
He had another case out of town.
He did?
Yes.
Did you tell him that you were going to be here in court this morning?
Yes, he knew about that.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Do you want to proceed without him? Let me tell you where we are here. The prosecutor is suggesting you may be seated, officer, if you want. There's a suggestion that, based on some preliminary discussions, that the case be modified to a minor misdemeanor charge that has a maximum penalty of $150. There's no jail time associated with it. Ms. Mondrico, with regard to the no OL, what was going to happen on that?
Your Honor, the City of Brook Park is prepared to dismiss the remaining balances. That's
All right.
correct.
And so the court can proceed, but you certainly have counsel, and you're welcome to have them here, or you will need to waive that right, and we'll proceed with the minor misdemeanor charge.
Well, when I talked with him yesterday, he said, I told him, and he said I could come get the rest of the files. He said that he didn't have to be here for that because he knew what I was going to, I guess, waive, go with that fine.
You're going to do what had previously been discussed by him and the prosecutor?
Yes.
All right, well, I do need to have you waive then the right to have him here with you this morning, and I'm going to ask you to do that in writing, and the bailiff will provide you with a document that does that. He signs that? Okay.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, all right.
But
Yeah, another case. Okay.
this entire time.
Okay.
My understanding is that
Yes,
but if
that's
you
what I
feel
did.
uncomfortable
No. This is,
in any way, shape, or form, we can have that in the daytime.
no. I read it.
Okay.
Mr. Fultz, we were
Suppose I have a document that has been prepared by the prosecutor which modifies the charge to read that on August 20th, 2016, you did recklessly cause inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm to another by doing any of the following: making unreasonable noise or an offensively coarse utterance, gesture, or display of communications unwarranted or grossly abusive language to any persons. This is a misdemeanor. A minor misdemeanor carries a maximum penalty of $150. There is no jail time associated with it. Do you understand that charge, sir?
Yes, sir.
How do you wish to plead this morning?
Guilty.
Guilty? A guilty plea is a complete admission of guilt. It waives all of the constitutional rights that you had previously explained to you, and you've already waived the right to have counsel with you, so based upon that, I'm going to go ahead and find you guilty on the charge. Madam Prosecutor, you wish to be heard?
Your Honor, just briefly, If it may please the court, Your Honor, just so the record is clear, I did have a private discussion right now. I don't know if the record picked it up with Mr. Fultz, just indicating that this is the pretrial discussions that I had with his lawyer, and certainly if he had any reservations about it, we don't object to a continuation of today's hearing for him to have Mr. Peterson present. He, of course, has waived that right. And aside from that, Judge, we would leave it in the court's discretion for whatever sentence this honorable court deems appropriate.
Thank you. Want to say anything, Mr. Fultz?
I totally feel terrible about the whole incident. I do want to say I apologize not only to the Brook Park Police, the mayor, city council. I regret the whole thing. I wish we would have never had that many kids at the party. I just regret it, and I apologize.
Well, the season is coming up again here, so
It's not going to be any more.
not going to happen, huh?
No. I told my sons it would be 10 to 20 at the most if it's going to be 20.
Thank you very much for being here. There's a $150 fine, and costs are assessed. Good luck to you, sir. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
You betcha.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, you're welcome. Excuse me, Judge. Can I say one more thing?
Well,
I plan on going to city council to apologize to everyone there in person, if that's okay.
well, that's up to you, sir.
Oh, yeah, I want to
All right.
do that.
All right. Oh, by the way,
It's been on my conscience for a while, so
let
I'm
me
going to
just,
do that.
was there a request in this one for anything further, Council?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing? All right, thank you very much. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
Mr. Troyer? Council? Morning, sir.
Your Honor, may I please the court, good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Troyer, we're here this morning for purposes of a jury trial on a couple of different cases, a misconduct as an emergency and a disorderly conduct charge. There's been some discussions with your counsel and the prosecutor on many different occasions. And this morning it's my understanding that there has been a resolution to this matter and that you have elected to proceed with a plea on the charge of disorderly conduct to waive the jury trial and the misconduct at an emergency would be dismissed. Is that your understanding, sir?
I need advice from my attorney, yes.
I understand that, but that's your understanding
Yes.
too, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I want to make sure, I know he understands. I just want to make sure that you're in full agreement with what we're doing here
Yes.
today. All right. All right, in consideration of the pretrial discussions then, Mr. Troyer, I will ask you to consult with your counsel and on the remaining charge of disorderly conduct and misdemeanor of the 4th degree, consult with your counsel and advise me how you're pleading on that charge today.
My plea will be no contest, sir.
No contest? Mr. Troyer, when you plead no contest, you're not admitting guilt, but you are telling me that you are not contesting the charges that are being filed, that have been filed here. And based upon that, I will be finding you guilty on the charge. Now, that does waive all of the constitutional rights that you had explained to you previously. You're obviously not waiving the right to counsel. You have very capable counsel here with you this morning. But it does waive all of the opportunities that you have to have that trial today, and the jury is waiting in the jury room. It gives up the right to confront witnesses, the right to have your own witnesses here, and to cross-examine the prosecutor's witnesses, to require the prosecutor to prove you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and gives up your constitutional rights to remain silent and to be presumed innocent until your guilt is established beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, you're going to be giving up all those rights. Do you understand that, Mr. Troyer?
Yes.
All right. All right, well, based upon that, then, I'm just going to hear briefly from the prosecutor. Then I'll be happy to have your counsel address the court, and we'll go from there. Ms. Landrico?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just so the record's clear, Judge, the sum and substance of our criminal Rule 11 plea negotiations is that the defendant was going to enter a plea to count 2. The balance will be dismissed on the condition that Mr. Troyer write an apology letter to the police departments involved, acknowledge responsibility, and of course, not do it again. Just so that that is clear, because I know the court just took the plea, but I want to make sure that that is on the record and clear if the court wants to do an inquiry.
All right. Do you wish to describe any circumstances for the court's consideration?
No, Your Honor, I just want to make sure that the defendant understands that that is a condition of the plea that he's accepted.
All right. Well, we'll discuss that with counsel. Are you waiving a reading of the circumstances, counsel?
No, just briefly, I'll put them on the record.
Okay.
August 20th, 2016, Vaughn Fultz, who just previously took a plea to a disorderly conduct, threw a very large house party. He, of course, has apologized for it here on the record when this court sentenced him. That day, Thomas Troyer appeared and acted in a disorderly and disruptive fashion with law enforcement. The city of Brook Park believes that he has put everybody at risk in doing that. And of course, if he accepts responsibility, that's why the offer is made. We're very grateful that he has, and we're anxious to see his apology letter and hope that it will never happen again. But that's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Counsel, do you wish to be heard?
Yes.
All right, Ed?
Yes, Your Honor. Essentially, Your Honor, the city has dismissed the most serious charge, which we don't think the city had a basis for, but it has been dismissed. And, Your Honor, my client's willing to take responsibility for disorderly conduct. As this court knows, this tantamount to disturbing loud, unnecessary noise as to disturb the peace. Essentially, that's what a disorderly conduct is, and that's what we take responsibility for. At this time, Your Honor, my client, a city councilman, he will, in fact, prepare a letter for this court and the police indicating an apology for what happened that night and taking responsibility for his actions on that evening. And if the city is willing to drop the count 1, we are at this point willing to enter we have already entered a no contest plea to disorderly conduct.
Thank you. Mr. Troyer, would you like to be heard, sir?
No,
I mean, I have a councilman who doesn't want to make a speech.
there'll be plenty of time for that.
All right, sir. All right, well, I think you made a good choice this morning. I'm going to find you guilty on the charge of disorderly conduct. I'm going to pass the case for sentencing for a pre-sentence report to allow that letter to be prepared and submitted to the probation staff for a review, and then we'll be back here at a later date for the finalization of the sentencing. Is there anything further from anyone?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much for being here, sir.
Yes.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. You have anything else?